Hello, everyone. Welcome to Boost Your Immunity with Essential Oils. I'm Cynthia Miller, and today we have Shawna, Bradford, and Dailaan Shaffer joining us for lots of really good information about how to nip that cold or flu in the bud. And we're going to talk about a couple of different products. We're going to get into some real good detail about the immune boosting essential oil blends that we have. I've been using essential oils for quite a few years, but doTERRA oils have just come into my life at the best time. And it's funny, this week I'm actually got a few cold and flu symptoms that I'm fighting. So it's kind of, it's that time of year that, kids are bringing home the flu. We're out in the cold. We might get a little bit chilled. There's all kinds of things going on that people are getting sick. So we're thinking that this is the best time of year to talk about this. I am so glad I've got my oils to help me nip it in the bud. So let's get started. Dailaan, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how oils have been helping you.
Yes, thank you. I was just thinking when you were saying that you were feeling, you're fighting off a cold or something. And that happened to me about a week and a half ago. I felt the first symptoms, so I started using On Guard and gargling with it. And I use the mouthwash a lot to gargle with. And I actually came down with a cold for the first time in about a year. And I've been using these oils for about a year. And I felt like I'd failed somehow. But I kept treating myself, and it was a mild cold and it was a short cold. So I'm happy. I was very pleased with the result. And some of the things that we're talking about today, I used as remedies. So yeah, I think it's great that we share this with everyone.
Thank you. Shawna.
Okay. Hi, I'm Shawna Bradford. I've been using oils for many years as well. doTERRA about 3 years. And I'm really happy we're going to talk about this topic because like the other lady said, it's cold and flu season. We're all trying to fight things off at various times. My kids are in school, so I feel like they're bringing home germs constantly. So it's taken me a while to kind of perfect my protocol, but I think I have it down, and I can really relate with what Dailaan just said about how when you're using the oils and then you still get sick and you almost feel like you failed. But I think it just takes a little bit to kind of tweak your routine to get it down, and it doesn't mean you're not going to get sick, but it means that your symptoms could be lessened, the duration could be lessened, and maybe prevent a trip to the doctor, which we all know during cold and flu season isn't fun, sitting in the waiting room with a bunch of sick people. So yeah, I'm happy to share my knowledge and protocol with everyone. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies. It's so true. We are pretty strong in our immune systems when we are eating well and we're getting everything we need, but it just takes a couple days of feeling run down that your immune system sort of is not able to take on whatever we're exposed to. So I'm sort of feeling the same way. I haven't taken on that cold full on. It's been just like every day, just managing those symptoms, and I know that I can get on the other side of this. So let's get started. Teach you a few good tricks. I love this slide. I always include it because it really represents what's going on at the microscopic level in our bodies. The receptors, the cells, the way that everything just moves, without us even knowing. And so this is what we want to do, is just keep exposing ourselves to good things. What we eat, the rest that we, let our bodies heal, what we expose ourselves to mentally, managing stress and that sort of thing. And when we use the oils, we know that it's good, pure plant medicine that, when we put it on the spine, it goes to all parts of our body. It's just so amazing how the body works. And I just love to be able to acknowledge that. And remember that, when we put things into our body, to tell ourselves, this is good for me, body, let's work to be strong and healthy. So I'm always talking to my body. So our mission in providing these continuing education videos is to help as many people as we can. We just hope that you can take one little gem, one little tip home to help you to combat whatever health challenges you're facing. These are natural solutions that have amazing effects for so many people. Really, really awesome benefits. So we really want to help you to create an awareness around healthy alternatives, to introduce you to the new products that come on our platform here. There's always new ways to use products, and we want to get to know you and help you in your mission to stay healthy with the natural solutions. So let's get started. So this is what we're going to share. We've decided to talk about the immune system and to share some what has worked for us to combat cold and flu symptoms. We're going to talk about the On Guard blend. This is the protective blend, so you can really feel strong and build up your immunity. The Easy Air blend, which is the respiratory blend to help with any stuffiness. That's really where the cold and flu takes place. And the Deep Blue blend, I'm sure many of you are aware, to combat aches and pains that come with sickness. And we've got some great recipes that both Dailaan and Shawna are going to share. They've got this figured out pretty good for their families. So, and I've also got the Loyalty Rewards program in there. Again, we're going to talk to you, and we've got a gift for you. So we're looking forward to helping you with these tips and tools. So here are as many cold and flu symptoms that I could think of, and some of them I'm combating right now, mostly the runny nose and the sniffles. So congestion, it's the whole respiratory system that suffers, the sore throat, tightness or heaviness in the chest. And please remember that if you're feeling really, really like you should go to the doctor, please do. This is helping you to combat the symptoms. Sometimes it does get out of control where you do have to take those antibiotics. Just have to take a drink. But even if you're just feeling low in energy, this Breathe respiratory blend just sort of wakes you up. There's so many germs and airborne pathogens that I was reading about this and trying to figure out what our body actually does during a cold. And we breathe in these pathogens, and then our body automatically starts making mucus to go to those places to sort of, like, this is foreign material, and then it just sort of continues to work together, the pathogens and the mucus, to sort of grow. And it just sort of seems like sometimes you're just always blowing your nose and coughing up the phlegm, and really it's our body reacting to the pathogens. So what we want to do is kill those pathogens so that our body can actually get rid of the phlegm. And it's not a very nice subject to talk about, but this is what happens, right? So the first one that we're going to talk about is On Guard blend. Many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with this protective blend. It is the immune system blend. We've got the oil, the touch, the soft gels, the toothpaste, the mouthwash, the beads, and this picture does include the On Guard concentrate soap, which is fantastic. It's going to kill the same germs. It's got the same blend throughout all these products, and of course the little throat drops as well. So this is what is in this blend and in all of these products. The wild orange is an immunostimulant, so it actually stimulates the immune system. Rosemary is an analgesic. It actually relieves pain, and it helps to sort of wake you up too. When you take a little bit of rosemary just by itself in your hand, if you're feeling foggy because you're stuffed up, this is going to help to just bring you back to feeling yourself a little bit. And the last three have antiviral, antibacterial properties, as well as being a powerful antioxidant. Clove has all of these properties. So they're chemical constituents that make up these properties. So it's plant medicine at its best, at its purest form. The cinnamon is antimicrobial. So it actually kills those tiny little pathogens and microorganisms that we breathe in. And I guess the virus pathogens actually stay active on the surface for up to 3 hours. So, just being able to use On Guard to clean surfaces in itself will help to keep your kitchen, your bathroom, kids' rooms, all your desk even, all nice and clean. So that's exactly what this blend is for. And of course, the eucalyptus is an expectorant, so it actually loosens up the mucus that we're talking about and helps to get rid of that phlegm. And it too is an analgesic, meaning it helps to relieve pain. Our body reacts that way. There's not a whole lot that that we can do except to look after those symptoms. So it's also disinfectant. So it destroys the bacteria, it gets inside and just blows them apart. So that's what this blend is all about, and it's in all of these products in the next few slides. So it's also available in the touch. So this is the roller. It's a 10 ml. It's the same formula as the blend, but it's diluted with fractionated coconut oil. So it's going to be really good for sensitive skin, which is on our throat. So if you have a sore throat, you can use the touch. You can also make your own rollers, which we can give to you as well. And it's really good for children because it is diluted. So you can roll it on their back and it'll take that plant medicine to all parts of their body through the nervous system. Put it on the bottom of their feet at night. It's going to be a really nice sort of ritual that you can do with your children at night. And of course, it travels really well for on the go. So you don't have to get the oil all over your hands. It's just a roller. You can roll it right on wherever it is that you need it. And this is the soft gels. There's 60 soft gels in the bottle. And so in addition to the blend, it's got black pepper, oregano, and melissa. So that's a pretty powerful blend. You take this internally with water. So it goes through your digestive system, but it goes throughout your whole body. It's great to, take, sometimes when you go on vacation, you sort of relax after being so stressed, and it's a really good thing to put on your list to make sure it's a must-have. A lot of people go on vacation and the first few days are just sort of feeling like, oh, I'm getting a sore throat. But if you have this with you, it's going to boost your immune system so you can have a good vacation without getting sick. So 1 or 2 caps a day. If you're sort of getting geared up for a big event, they say take one of these for 5 days before so that you have that energy, you have, everything that you've been working towards, you're going to feel really good on that day of the event. Environmental threats, sort of called the allergies, what we're exposed to in the environment. This is really good to boost your immune system so you're not, sort of breathing in things that your body is triggered from. Helps you to maintain a healthy immune system. And the emotional aspect of this blend is to help give you a feeling of strength and independence. So most of you know there's an emotional aspect to these, the energy of the plants. So that's what this one's all about. So these are so yummy to eat. I mean, suck on, I guess, with the sore throat. You don't actually chew them, but just soothe your throat. If you have a scratchy throat, if it's dry, if you can't stop coughing, these are wonderful. They're individually wrapped, and they've got myrrh in them in addition to the blend. So just a really good throat drop. We've got actually 3 different kinds of throat drops now. If you're not thrilled with the taste of this one, with the cinnamon, clove, rosemary, and the myrrh, we've got also the breathe drops, and the ginger drops are really nice too. I had one of those the other day, and oh, they're really yummy. And this is made in a base of organic cane sugar, organic brown rice syrup, and there's no artificial colors or flavors. So really good for kids if they like the taste of the cinnamon. So absolutely love these drops. And then this one is one I keep in my purse all the time, because sometimes you go into a store and you're touching the shopping carts, and great for kids too. This one has the little bit of the ethyl alcohol as the antiseptic, but it seems to just sort of disappear quite quickly. Smells really lovely. Just spray it on. It's going to protect you from 99.9% of germs. So that's pretty awesome. That's the stat that I found out there. So yeah, really good on the go sanitizer for your hands. It's not that smelly. It smells really good. Now this one is, of course, oral health is probably one of the first defenses that you want to have strong. So the toothpaste is the On Guard blend plus the myrrh. Myrrh is really good to soothe the mouth and the gums and the throat. So I've loved this toothpaste. It's really, really good. I don't even want to go back to the other now. And it's got peppermint in it. So it's going to freshen your breath. It's sweetened with this natural elixirol. I don't know how to pronounce that. But I know that that's a sweetener that a lot of people love to purchase, and you can bake with that, I think, too. Made with silica, a natural abrasive that removes plaque. So it's got all the ingredients to help your teeth stay healthy, remove plaque, soothe the gums. Everything that's in the toothpaste works really well together for really good oral health. And the mouthwash, Dailaan mentioned earlier, I just love the taste of this. Like, I could actually drink it. It's actually really sweet and yummy. And of course, you're just going to gargle with it. But it's got the ingredients to remove the plaque and strengthen and brighten your teeth as well. So these are wonderful products. The On Guard Protective Blend is first line of defense. Like I said earlier before we started, I use the blend and I just put it right under my tongue. I've been doing this pretty much for the last 3 days. I don't know how many times a day, probably 10 or 12 times a day. And it just sort of seems to go into my throat and just sort of clean it. And so just like that, it's the sore throat is gone. So I keep doing this as it comes back. I know that I'm fighting it the best way that I possibly can. So on to the next product, and Dailaan is going to take this one. This is the Breathe Easier blend. Dailaan.
Yes, and I love using the mouthwash too. I just wanted to say that xylitol being one of the ingredients, one time my dental hygienist recommended that I get some xylitol little candies and suck on them several times a day, because actually xylitol is really good for oral health.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I used to do that. Now I don't, because I do something else and with the oils. But anyway, so Breathe, or Easy Air, it's called Breathe in the States and Easy Air in Canada. And this was actually my introduction to doTERRA, wasn't it, Cynthia?
Oh, was it?
Cynthia, I first met Cynthia when my husband and I stayed at her bed and breakfast a couple of years ago, and she was diffusing Easy Air in the bedroom, and I just loved it. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
It makes for a very peaceful sleep. So what is in the Easy Air blend? So it's a blend of a number of things that all have properties that either soothe the throat or boost the immune system. Tea tree is an antifungal, so it's good for strep throat and tonsillitis. Lemon soothes the throat. What else? Laurel, eucalyptus, of course, helps us breathe better. And Ravensara, those are two oils that they're actually different. One is distilled only from the leaves, and the other one from the bark and the leaves. Those are not bottled and sold separately by doTERRA, but they both have mucus thinning properties. So, and they boost the respiratory and immune and circulatory functions. So when you put a number of oils together in a blend, the more complex the blend is, the more effective it is, and the more people it helps. So I used to wonder, why do they need to put this many oils in a blend? But that's the reason, and it makes good sense. So it's good for the respiratory system, the throat, the lungs, the chest. Diffuse while you're ill or during sleep to open airways. Inhale. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah. Inhale from your cupped hands continuously while you're ill. Apply it to the chest. And yeah, apply a heating pad while ill. So, when you apply this to your chest, you mix it with maybe a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, and then apply it to the chest and to the neck, which is what I did last week. I found that I was coughing during my sleep. And if I put that on before I went to bed, my cough, I didn't cough during the night, and I
Good.
didn't cough during the day at all after 2 days. It will feel very cold though. When I was a kid, my mother used to put Vicks on my chest and put a sock around my neck and fasten a safety pin. And I've done that for my grandson. He's not really crazy about the sock. But what I do now is I put a bandana around my neck because it just helps to make me feel a little bit cozier. And of course, you can rub it over the heart center to open up to love. You'll want to cover it up with your hands for a little while because it gives you that little chill. It's a good chill.
Yeah.
So what do we have next? Yes. So breathe also comes, or easy air comes in the touch. So that's your 10 mil roller. And so it just makes it really convenient to take when you're traveling. And you can rub it on your neck and dilute it further for sensitive skin and littles. I like that word, Cynthia, littles.
I know, I've seen that used. I like it too. So little people.
So, of course, for children, you do need to dilute the oils a little bit further than you would for adults. And so we can give you some guidance around that too, if you need. And also, if you have sensitive skin, you'll want to dilute it a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah. And as she mentioned before, Breathe comes in the throat drops. And so it has a mixture or a blend of oils, but it also has the organic cane sugar and the brown rice syrup. Now, even if you're trying to stay away from sugar, as I do, not always with success, but it gives me comfort to know that I'm taking something that's got the more natural forms of sugar rather than Splenda, or what's that stuff called, aspartame.
Right.
A lot of cough drop preparations that say no sugar are actually made with those kinds of chemicals. And, when I was coming home from convention a couple of weeks ago, more like 3 now, I was so proud of myself because I had taken the On Guard beadlets, which was the most convenient form of On Guard that I had at the time. And I used those while I was away to prevent myself from getting sick. And I didn't get sick. It happened a couple of weeks after I got home. But coincidentally, when I was flying home on one of the flights, I met a woman who had also been at the convention. She was going home to Oregon. And we got talking about the Breathe cough drops or lozenges. And she reached into her purse and she scooped up a whole bunch. And boy, did those come in handy last week. So that was really, really nice.
I know, they're yummy, aren't they?
Yeah, they are very good.
Okay, that's awesome. Thanks, Dailaan. Okay, so this product here I'm going to talk about is the vapor stick. So this is very similar to the Vicks vapor rub that we, like Dailaan has said, when we were younger, our mothers would throw that on there, and I used to always get a sock with a safety pin too. So I don't know what that was all about, but I always do the washcloth over my throat now. I don't use my socks for this. But yeah, it does sort of create a cooling effect so that, when you're breathing it in, it's just right there in your chest. It goes into your chest, you're breathing it in. It's just so cooling and invigorating. And like you mentioned, this is all natural ingredients with the essential oils right in there. It's quick, and it's kind of neat the way that it just sort of rolls up. It's not in a jar that you scoop out and have to get all over your hands. You just actually put that on. So it's a wonderful little thing, and I think it's very reasonable too, like $10 or something like that. So I've got one of those definitely in my kit. So I think Shawna, you're going to talk about Deep Blue because you seem to be the expert in this product. So please share.
Yes, well, I love this one. It's my husband loves it too. It's our soothing blend, so it's good for all things aches and pains. Um, because it's containing wintergreen, peppermint, blue tansy, which are analgesic, and the wintergreen and peppermint, along with ylang ylang, are also antispasmodic. The ylang ylang is a calming oil, so that's going to calm any aches and pains. Helichrysum is extremely healing, and it also contains camphor, blue chamomile, and osmanthus. So this is something, as I said, you can use for all sorts of aches and pains pertaining to what we're talking about, cold and flu symptoms. I always wake up and I kind of feel tension in my neck, possibly from a headache or in shoulders. So I'd use the rub because it's convenient. You can also use the oil diluted as well, but just rub some on the back of your neck and on your shoulders. You can even put some on your chest as well. And that's just going to help calm down those aches and pains that come from cold and flu symptoms.
Fabulous. Thanks, Shawna. That's a very popular one. Now, Dailaan, I think you're going to talk about the cold and flu bombs. We've got a couple of slides here.
Yeah, so the cold and flu bomb is, we shorten that to, we have an acronym for that, FLOOM. So frankincense, lemon, oregano, on guard, and the M is melaleuca or tea tree. We tend to call it tea tree in Canada. So this is, I've used this for cold sores as well. I always have some on hand, and you just make it in a 10 ml roller. And here's the recipe. So 12 drops of On Guard, 10 of frankincense, tea tree, and lemon each, and 8 drops of oregano. We put a fewer drops of oregano in because oregano is very strong. And sometimes I even reduce it further because my husband hates oregano and he has to sleep beside me. But it's still very effective. And so each of these oils have wonderful qualities. I mentioned tea tree earlier, good for tonsillitis and sore throats, lemon for sore throat. Oregano is really great for bacterial and viral infections. On Guard, of course, is our immunity blend. We've talked about that. And frankincense is good for cellular function and for pain and inflammation. And it also, we find that it magnifies the effect when it's used with other oils. So you put a few oils together and put frankincense in for good measure, and it just seems to really, really help. So you can roll that on your neck, on your spine, along each side of the spine, and on the bottoms of your feet as well. And that's what I used. That's one of the things that I used when I felt like I was coming down with a cold a couple of weeks ago.
Fabulous. Yeah, that's true about frankincense. It sort of is just, when in doubt, use it in everything. It's magic.
Yeah. They don't call it the king of oils for nothing, right?
Yeah.
So another way that you can use the cold and flu balm is you can make it in a veggie cap. So the veggie caps are the little, you can buy the empty caps that your nutritional supplement capsules, the nutritional supplements come in. And so you can take 2 drops of each one of these 5 ingredients and add it to an empty veggie cap, and then take that with water, of course. Take it 3 times per day, especially if you are feeling something coming on. I mean, this is the purpose. So you would take it 3 times a day, and only for a maximum of 10 days. The oregano in particular is recommended to only take for a maximum of 10 days at a time. And so if you do this, you'll have to make the veggie caps. You can't very well make them ahead of time. You have to make them as you use them, because you can imagine that if the oils are sitting in them, they will melt them, right? And so, but doing this is very effective for fighting off infections and sore throat and tonsillitis or strep throat that can uh, eventually, the sore throat can turn into those things. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Dailaan. I've taken, I think, 3 of those the last couple of days. I think I'll take a couple more today because they just seem to just like work like magic, these veggie caps. So if anybody wants to try them, we have, lots on hand. And it's interesting that the products we're talking about also, it came to me that these are all in the kits that people get, the family kit, the home essential kit. These are the basic oils that people have. So you already have the oils if you purchase the kit, and these little, the rollers, the veggie caps, we can certainly supply those for you if you're interested in getting those. So I think, Shawna, you're going to talk about the next slide.
Yes. I'm going to add my protocol that I do as well. That kind of these go in with that. So it's taken me a little while to get this down pat, but I have to say my entire family's been sick at least once already this cold and flu season, and I've managed to keep it away. So it works for me. And also what I'm doing, my family doesn't use the oils like I do, but I diffuse On Guard constantly this time of year. I even make pancakes. I put a couple of drops of On Guard in the batter, so they're getting it internally.
Good idea.
And while they have gotten sick, my boys have missed 1 day of school, whereas their friends have been off 3 or 4. So I think that's pretty amazing. So this time of year, like I said, I'm diffusing the On Guard pretty much daily, especially when the kids get home from school. I take 1 On Guard soft gel every day, usually at night. Just that's kind of my routine. And I do the beadlets as needed. Pretty much anytime I'm going to go into public, I'll spray my hands with the On Guard sanitizer, and I'll take one of the beadlets, which is, it's just, I don't know if you can see that, it's just a 1/4 drop of oil, and you can either swallow it, or I like to actually just bite it down so I get the taste as well. And so that's just giving you a little bit of an immune boost. When I start to feel sick, typically I'll wake up extremely tired, sore throat. That's kind of my sign. So immediately I will do the cold and flu balm that Dailaan just spoke of. Now, I love to repurpose bottles. So what I do is I pre-mix the cold and flu balm in an empty bottle so that it's ready to go, so I can just pour it into the veggie caps. So I'll do that about 3 times a day, and also
That's brilliant, Shawna.
yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Thank you. I also put the roller on the bottoms of my feet and put socks over top several times a day as well. Then I up my soft gels. I'll take probably 2 twice a day because that has a lot of immune boosting power as well. So, and then of course my recipes. If I have a sore throat, my blend is 5 drops in a 5 ml of Manuka oil, which is only available in Australia. So if you don't have Manuka, you can substitute tea tree. Manuka is just kind of a tea tree, but more powerful. So you could use tea tree. Also lime and arbor vitae, which kind of helps to it can break up mucus, and it really helps soothe the throat. So I just roll that right on my throat as needed. Also, my ears tend to get, everything goes right to my ears for some reason. So this roller I actually use on an ongoing basis when my ears feel kind of sore, or they feel wet almost sometimes. So again, in a 5 ml, there's basil, helichrysum, tea tree, and lavender. I like to top with olive oil because I'd read somewhere that olive oil is also good for the ears. So that's what I use for a carrier. You could use fractionated coconut oil. So I this is my on-guard roller, but I'll just show you. I just roll down behind the ear and then along the jawline, and then also just a little bit on the outer part of the ear. You don't want to get oils in your ear, but just kind of so it's sitting on the outside. And I do that to both ears as many times as needed. Yeah, and then of course I use Easy Air if I'm feeling stuffed up, and on guard always. So that's pretty much my protocol, and it's worked so far. I've woken up probably 3 or 4 times with that sore throat feeling and kind of run down, and by the end of the day I'm feeling better when I use this protocol. So it works for me and I'm happy with it.
That's fantastic, Shawna. You're so knowledgeable about all of these things. I love everything that you have to say. It's such a wealth of information for people to try any of those suggestions. I also have problems with my ears, and I found that even just the tea tree around my ears have really helped. So thank you so much for sharing your protocol. That's fantastic. And I hope that your family stays healthy.
Yes, me too.
I wanted to include this reflexology chart because it just sort of seems appropriate when I looked at this picture. All the oils that you could possibly want for the respiratory system are at the top of the chart. Some of them we've talked about. There's some new ones there as well. And these are the ones that you're going to perhaps use for these points. As you see, the tips of the fingers are actually the sinus points. And, you know, just even rubbing those points with some, the Breathe blend. If you do that, you can actually feel it in your sinuses. So the Breathe blend is quite strong, and you know it might be a little bit too strong for the actual skin where your sinuses are. So maybe this is an option for you if you've got really you know, sensitive skin. And also the other one was the sinus, the lung, the nose, and the tonsil reflex points. You can see that on the chart where those different ones are, just on the outside of the hand. You know, so if you're feeling like you're coughing a lot, you can just rub that part of your hand, even with or without oil, is going to sort of stimulate it. That's how reflexology works, and it helps to bring it into balance, because a lot of times it's just congested energy where these infections take place. And the tonsil, I believe, is right in there. So yeah. Love it. Love reflexology. So I thought I'd just include that. So that pretty much sums up all that we have to say about the oils. I just wanted to go over the loyalty rewards program. Many of you are already familiar with this and how it works. You start out with 10% points back on your orders to work up to 30% back over 13 months. Now, the minimum that you have to order to create that increase is 50, but you only have to put in 1 PV a month to maintain it. And it's just that's why you would have your own account with doTERRA, because of the point system. And you get the wholesale costs, of course, which are 25% below. But this loyalty rewards program, I mean, you can build up to 200 points over a year, or even less. And then you get all these freebies that are, you know, normally, you know, $60, $80 that are, you know, the real fine oil blends. Dailaan, somebody really wants you. So this is sort of a summary of what it's all about. You know, if you spend the 100 PV, that's what what it takes to actually earn money back. So commissions back if you're interested in that, and the 125 PV, and that's the point system to get the free gifts. So this month is the Clementine, I believe, 125 points before the 15th. So you've got a few days left yet to put that in. And Clementine is going to be one that you can put in your diffuser to wake everybody up happy. All those citrus oils are such a wonderful thing to have in the home. So yeah, the loyalty rewards program, when you put your order in, choose the LRP template, you get your points back in shipping. Whatever you spend in shipping, you get those points back as well. And this is such a great way to buy the frankincense, the Helichrysum, the more expensive ones that you know, you don't have to put out the cash for those. So this is the way to do it. So this is our offer. If you're putting in a 100-point order from now until October 31st, please tell us that you've done that. And then you'll get your own personal roller. We'll do something up for you that, you know, whatever your need is. If it's anxiety, we've got this wonderful adaptive blend now, the new one that came out. If you're still suffering from allergies, maybe the smells of the fall are just triggering things with you. Maybe you're having digestive problems after Thanksgiving weekend. Maybe you have muscle aches because of the cold and flu. Any or all of these symptoms, you know, we have been using these oils, and we found the blends, the oils, the, you know, the ones that we put together are so good to help you, you know, deal with these symptoms. So let us know if you're eligible for this offer, or if you'd like to try a sample. We're open to sharing what we have. So just sort of end with this slide that we are committed to helping you learn about doTERRA essential oils. And that's why we're creating this series. So please connect with us if you're interested in anything, any more information that you'd like to know about. We are here for you. Okay, so thank you, ladies, for joining me. Is there any final words you have to say?
No, I just wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving weekend.
Thank you.
Yep, I think we covered everything. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.